also, of course, act. But what brought you into midwifery in the first place? You were a nurse, presumably, first.
Yeah, I had this kind of waking up experience and wanting to make a difference in some way. And I got kicked out of school, so I did this general nurse council test and got accepted into nursing. And having qualified as a nurse, I found that I was being pulled away from physical caring duties. And a mate of mine, Dave Smith, we trained as nurses, he became a midwife, and he rang me up and he said, "Mark, midwife, it's a verb." He said it means to be with the woman. It's who you're being.
You don't have to be one.
It's not a noun, it's not gender specific, although historically it certainly is. So I trained and got hooked, really.
Some sad reason for you having to change your life because your wife died, I know, and then you went freelance and you started the Birthing for Blokes workshop sessions. You must have seen a lot of fathers reacting, either being there or not being there.
Without a doubt, over the 20 years, observing not just male partners, but same-sex partners, seeing men talk to you about feeling disenfranchised, feeling powerless. I mean, some talking about being emasculated at the point where the woman they love with passion is going through the most intense experience. There's nothing they felt they could offer or do.
So the main thing which happens to them is this sense of detachment. What about fear?
Well, you say detachment, but I think I've seen polar responses in the birth room, and I think it's linked to our evolutionary heritage. You know, that visceral amygdala response that says fight or flight or freeze tends to get translated into either an aggressive response at one end of the pole or that detached on your iPad streaming House of Cards response, and many in the middle. But what it leads to is this disconnect with the one they love, which has an impact on her oxytocin and birth unfolding as it would have done throughout our mammalian history.
Yes, you're very interesting about women, and they're saying that they need this kind of safe, enclosed space within their own very basic, primitive human instinct, their oxytocin, and if a bloke keeps interfering, it doesn't help.
It's not just the bloke, the whole environment can be anti-conducive to oxytocin release.
Let's get nodding here.
Yeah,
Leave on the other side of the table. You agree with that, do you?
Years ago, when I was in sdcard, about 1963, I was running all over Richmond Park, and a woman was having a baby under a tree. There was nobody around, and I rushed across to her, and she was having a baby, got her legs up, I think it was because she knew me in sdcard. I was really, I'm having a baby, so I breathe deeply, and so breathe deeply, and then gradually I got the baby out, so the head.
You delivered a baby?
Yes, I delivered it in Richmond Park, and the afterbirth came out, and the clots, I got rid of the clots, pressed their belly and got rid of the clots, and then I got the afterbirth out, then I bit it loose, and I tied it into a knot in the centre, and then I just called for help, and then eventually an ambulance came. I was covered in blood, my shirt was covered in blood, I was wrapping and wiping her, it's all right, darling, and I was licking the baby's face.
Fran, am I believing this?
Absolutely.
Many years ago,
I never talked about it. Of course, what I'm saying is, it was natural, wasn't it? You will tell her to breathe deeply, push, because I'd seen my mother do all this. I was always kept in the background, because all the neighbours were kind of almost like midwives.
If this extraordinary story this extraordinary story is true, I have to say, I can think of few less restful things than having Brian Blessed attend my birth in a park, but there you go.
Baby girl, it's a baby girl.
Excellent. You say that men and women are different, not just anatomically, but emotionally and spiritually. There are women who will bristle at that too, and men, but you say this is absolutely to you a truth.
Well, if you say a truth in terms of observing my own experience and verifying it, I link it to our evolutionary adaptive history. That, I'm sat here across from a woman that has far more connections across the two hemispheres of her brain than I do. You have upwards of 12, I've got 2. Me and Brian and Satish have 2, which would have served us really well when we were hunter-gatherers. Because I would have seen a tiger print, and if I'd have gone, is that a Bengal or an Indian, I'd be toast.
Watch out, roadworks reported on the road ahead.
So I think this distinctiveness is about diversity, not equality. You know, equality in the context of our responses as mammals to survive was written into our very survival. And I think we need a rediscovery of the dances of energies that have been present in ancient cultures.
Do you ever, just as very briefly, do you ever get men who just say, look, I don't want anything to do with this, I don't want to come to birthing for blokes,
Yeah.
I don't want, my girlfriend sent me and I'm leaving, and we just give me the baby when it's finished.
Yeah, an authentic decision not to be present is a very powerful decision that is a great foundation for fatherhood. Being present when you don't want to be is not going to set up the kind of energy in the room that you want.
Well, speaking of male energies, let's turn to Brian Blessed, who actually says in his memoir, his wonderful new memoir, that you remember being born yourself.
Oh, well, yes, I mean, it sounds ridiculous, and I remember